Hello everybody on this rainy Friday morning. So, continuing with our series, today's message is put your needs first. Bet you that's a different concept that you didn't think it was important to habits for happiness. Putting your needs first sounds awfully selfish at the first get-go of that statement, but definitely it is not. And it's back to that old airplane story that we've probably heard a million times. You know, you need to put the air face mask on yourself so that you can breathe in order to help anybody else who is maybe not as capable. So that's pretty much the concept of putting your needs first on the 30 Habits for Happiness. This is number 17. And what I take from that is the difference between self-care and selfish. So some people think taking care of others is, not being selfish. But if you're not taking care of yourself before you take care of the others, then you're not going to be there very long to do that. So it's super important to take good self-care. There are a lot of different things to taking good self-care. For me, number one priority is my spiritual connection and my well-being in my head about, what am I supposed to do each day? How do I want to live each day according to my values? That my spiritual connection is first, in my book anyway. You can pick whatever order you like. But I think that's part of putting me first. That I have a good connection with my Creator so that I know what I want to do on a daily basis. And as ironic as that sounds, what I'm going to be doing next is taking care of my granddaughter for my daughter. She just called a few minutes ago, asked if I would come over. She needs to lay down for a while. So for her, that's taking care of herself first, right? And I will help her do that by, watching a 2.5-year-old for a while. So I think that's important. It wasn't originally in my plan for today. Hey, Jerry. Hey, Jim. And that's okay. You have to learn how to go with the flow and switch gears when you need to, right? So that is one of the things that I said yes to. So that's one of the things that I'm going to do. But the first thing I did before I said yes was I thought about it for a minute. I said, can I make this work in terms of what I wanted to get done today? And I thought about it for a few minutes, and yes, I can. So I said yes. So another really good tool for taking care of yourself or putting yourself first is the ability to say no without a paragraph explanation about why you need to say no. So had I chosen to, I could have just said, and if it didn't work for me, I could have simply said no. And a lot of people have real difficulty saying no. There is a statement, no is a complete sentence. So keep that in mind. It does not serve you to do something that you don't want to do and then have a resentment about it. You said yes, so you have to take responsibility for your yes. And if your yes was done without thinking about it first, or because you didn't want to upset the apple cart or get somebody upset, or somebody was going to be mad at you because you said no, and that's why you said yes, then you have to think about that as well, So it's super important to learn how to say no, and that taking care of yourself and putting yourself first sometimes does require you to say no to certain people, particularly people who will continue to abuse your goodwill or your willingness to help them. And so saying no is actually probably not only in your best interest, but in theirs as well in the long run. It's super important to model taking good care of yourself by saying no. And if you don't say no, then your yes is really worth nothing if you can't say no. And I think that's important to recognize as well. Hey, Robin. So I think it's something that, a lot of people cannot say no, because they're afraid of, somebody else's reaction to it. And there's a lot of people who can't say no without a full, diatribe explanation 17 paragraphs later about why they had to say no, and then they still feel guilty, which is like ridiculous. So no is a full sentence. It is always has been. It's not been practiced in our society, and I know that most people do want to help out others. There is nothing wrong with that. I certainly agree with that in concept and in theory and in practice. However, if you're always saying yes to everybody else and to the detriment of taking good care of yourself, then that is, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, I don't think that's a good way to live life. Certainly because on top of it, you don't want to live life with resentments or feeling like you've been used. You allowed it. If you said yes and you didn't want to, you are giving them permission to abuse you in whatever way and shape and form that abuse is looking. So it's super important to learn how to say no and to be comfortable with that. It's not always comfortable in the beginning, but it gets easier the more you do it. And then there's also less guilt. I think that's how that works pretty much, You don't want to have a lot of guilt if you say no. But I don't think it happens the first time you say no. I think it takes a long time to get to a place where, you can say no and be firm in that. And, you can still send those people love and light. There's nothing wrong with that. And you can certainly, follow through with another time, or that doesn't work for me today, maybe another time. That kind of an answer is fine as well. If it truly does not work. And I think that's super important in taking good care of yourself. There's a lot of people that really do care about, how other people are doing and what's happening with them and all that, which is great. So a simple way of really sending out good vibes is to pray for them, to send them love and light, to pray for them to have the best day they can have. And sometimes some of these things are for their own lessons, and sometimes they're for our lessons. So, life is a lesson platform, continues to be. The more we grow and change and recover and learn a lot more about ourselves, the more we understand that. I know I do. So I think it's super important to, put yourself first. And can you be happy if you put yourself first? I certainly hope so. I think that you can be, absolutely. I think it's important to remember to put yourself first as your priority. And, whatever you do beyond that is a plus to the people around you, the people you care about, the people you love. And, there are some things that in life I wish I could do more of for certain people. And you know what? I can't. It's just not the time right now. Either I'm unavailable to physically be there for them because of the virus, or they are not ready for that. So I think it all depends on, where somebody's at and how life is for them at that particular moment. So, I can only do what I can do. And for the most part, as long as I'm in a good space, I can do it with love and know that that's the best I can do for that day, and that's perfectly acceptable. And, it's a good thing we're not all up or down at the same time, right? So, life is like that. Some days people are up and they can lift others up with them. Morning, Sandra. Hi, Robin. And sometimes people are down and other people can lift them up at that time. So it's kind of interesting that we can do that for each other as a society and as a culture, that we can lift others up when they are having a bad day. They can make that phone call. You can text them. Maybe they'll reach out to you and ask for, some FaceTime, because that helps them. I had a friend do that with me yesterday, which was great, you know. So it's important to stay connected that way and to be physically distant, hashtag physically distant, and physical distancing is important at this time, but socially distant is not. I want to be socially connected with the people that support me, that I can support them at times when I'm in a good place. And fortunately, that's most of the time, mostly because I do take care of myself and I'm not being a martyr. I'm not, doing for others when I can't even take care of myself. I am taking care of myself as best I can each day, staying connected with the people that support me. And if I'm the support for that day, then that's good too. That's all part of how the circle of life kind of happens, right? When one person's down, they can lift others up. And when those people are down, we can lift them up. So I think that's important. So we've got an interesting thing to think about today, if you like. I think, taking good care of yourself and putting your needs first. Some of those real basic things, brush your teeth, wash your hair, right now, wash your hands, right? Wash your hands, wash your hands. Don't touch your face. That's part of putting yourself first, right? Taking good care of your physical health. And, without that, you really have nowhere to live. So you might as well, think about what's important there today. Eating well, maybe filling your mind with positive mental thoughts. Whatever, books work for you, tapes, CDs, maybe it's music, maybe it's drumming. There's so many wonderful things that you can do to, put yourself in a good place so that you can be a light to the rest of the world and to those that you care about, even if you physically cannot be there with them or for them. So that's my thought for today. That's my talk for today, I guess I'm going to say. I'm going to go babysit for a little while, and that's usually all-consuming, so I won't be on again until tomorrow sometime. But it is raining here. However, I do want to sign off with my usual goodbye, which is the sun is always shining, and I know it's in there behind the clouds, up there behind the clouds somewhere, even though I visibly cannot see it or feel it at the moment. The sun has always got you. It surrounds our planet with love and light and warmth. Different parts of the world get different parts of warmth on a daily basis. If the sun wasn't here, we wouldn't be alive. So I'm super grateful the sun is always there, and that's kind of how I look at my Creator. My Creator is always there, a God of your understanding, whatever it might be, and universal intelligence, so many names for the source of our existence and the source of our being. So I will sign off with that. The sun is always shining, guys. I love you. I hope you love you. I hope you take good care of yourself today, and I hope you put your needs first. Bye for now, and we'll see you again tomorrow.